testimony. I shared it on Overtime a few weeks ago, and I said I would think about sharing it here on the main podcast, and decided to do that. So here's a clip from that. Cheers.
So, and often I think people are too general sharing. Like that's one of our defense mechanisms where we really generalize.
I think I could just read it now. This is just Patreon. So, okay. Hey, everyone. My name is Kyle Ruitenburg, and this is my second year here. Unfortunately, I have so many problems that I needed to come twice. But fortunately, I came twice to actually deal with my problems. Last year, I stood here and shared the story of a boy who felt unloved, out of control, and full of shame, and a man who carried that pain into every area of his life. I talked about my failures, my cheating, the ways I'd hurt others, and the incredible freedom I'd found in bringing those things into the light for the first time. But here's the truth. Freedom isn't a one-and-done event. It's a battle, and little did I know I was still just getting started. See, shame is sticky. Even after freedom, the enemy tries to whisper, "You're still that guy." I quickly find myself still wrestling with the desire to escape pain and emotion, whether through weed, porn, emotional connections in the wrong places, performance, or just trying to work harder and be better. So what's the biggest difference now? I'm not hiding anymore. I don't justify it. I don't pretend I'm over everything. Well, sometimes I try, but I bring it into the light, and I have no secrets. It's the secrets and the darkness that destroy. Since my last testimony, my wife and Nicole have continued to rebuild, and God has brought more healing than I ever imagined. We had separated 5 times in 3 years, and now, 6 weeks ago, Nicole and I welcomed a new baby boy, Oliver Trey. How is that possible? God is good. This year, Freedom Session forced me to deal with the things I hadn't fully faced yet, the emotional distance, the resentment, and the patterns still lurking underneath. I had forgiven others last year, but this year I had to learn how to walk in that forgiveness, how to not pick it back up, how to extend grace to myself, especially when I fall into old temptations or feel that a voice of shame creeping in. I had to forgive in places I never expected, deep wounds from childhood and from some of the people closest to me. And I'm thankful to say those relationships in my life that felt beyond broken have also started to heal. I had to confront the lie that my value is on my output, that if I'm not perfect, I'm worthless. That belief still shows up sometimes, but I'm learning slowly that I have value because God says I do, not because of what I do. I've learned to look at the younger version of myself with compassion instead of contempt, the kid who just wanted love, a hug, and a safe place to be seen, and I see him now, and I don't hate him anymore. So what now? I'm committed to being a man who tells the truth, who keeps no secrets, who gets up when he fails, and keeps going by grace. I want to be a man who gives hope to others, stuck in shame, sin, and silence, because I've been there, and I know the way out. The way out is Jesus. He's the one who carried my guilt. He took my sin, not just the public stuff, but the darkest things I swore I'd never say out loud. And he said, "It is finished." And I believe him. To those of you just starting this journey, here's what I'll say. It's worth it. Keep going, keep confessing, keep forgiving. The weight can lift, the light can break through, and joy, actual joy, is real. To my Freedom Session group, thank you for putting up with me, and thank you for being real. Mm-hmm. To my brothers and sisters who have walked this road with me, I love you guys. Thank you. I include you, Gary. To my wife, Nicole, you are a warrior. I love you. Thank you. And to the one who makes all things new, even people like me, all glory to you. Jesus is King. That's what I shared.
It was really special. Yeah.
I'm curious what your, like, you know me pretty well. You did Freedom Sessions with me last year, but this year you weren't in my group, and so you weren't in the week-to-week stuff, and we generally only talk on this podcast and not beyond that. What was it like for you hearing it and having been with me last year? And
yeah, I think, to be without sharing anything that you should share, not me, I guess it's just the journey of sanctification is a journey. And it's like, hey, I'm looking forward to, I know your skill set and your giftings. And I think when the few areas that you're still wrestling with, you find some permanent freedom, which I believe is possible. I think that often, I don't know how it is for you actually, but I feel like often we can get stuck in that thought process of, man, I'm just never going to fully beat this one area, or hey, or we justify and say, oh, I'm doing relatively well. And I think, yeah, in your case where it's hey, you have many of the, you have the gift of leadership in the sense of challenging people, speaking bluntly, just leading, right? And pushing. And maybe some of that needs to be refined, or maybe it needs to be, because you're probably really, probably like I am, we're pretty savage, right? some people need that, but other people need gentleness, right? And it's like when you lead a facilitated group, you have to know who needs what.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
need
hard.
to be able to read.
It's hard, right? It's hard. And even then we might still get it wrong. And so there again, our group needs to be gracious with us. So no, I think it's pretty special. I think that you did a good job of kind of communicating that you're still struggling with sin, but I think you gave God all the glory, which is probably the most important part. I think a lot of people did. They always do, which is really cool. They can tell that the people that actually graduate and do the speech, you could tell that they were relying on the Lord and that they did come to the end of themselves, because then that's how they share. Because there's nobody standing there saying, oh, I did the hard work, or oh, I did this, or like there was none of that actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, it's been, even for myself, like I didn't share too much. 'Cause first of all, it's not about me, but also I just feel like when I'm up there, I'm like, I don't want to talk too long, but I do feel like I shared a little bit of my struggle, like very, very, very surface level. But I did say I struggled with pornography and stuff. And I feel like even that, it's just literally a miracle. Like I feel it's a miracle to think of how ensnared I was and not even in pornography, or just like inappropriate movies, or just in this vicious cycle of like falling into like shitty patterns of just watching stuff I shouldn't. It's like, okay, like it is a miracle, right? And so yeah, I similar to me not drinking. It's so bizarre, like and smoking. Like I quit smoking in freedom sessions. I don't know if we're talking about it publicly, but like in 2018. Yeah, 2018. And like I went in one night, and when you do that freedom ladder, I can, I will, or whatever. That night something clicked. I'm like, no, I can. If I pass my smoke to someone tonight and say I'm never going to smoke again, I don't need to smoke again.
Interesting.
By God's grace. I gave the cigarettes to another guy in my group who's still smoking.
Well, I remember you, the first session.
I'm still a smoker though, right? I have always said once my kids start, I will start.
Just still in the back of your mind, your little like piece that you still want to go back.
I'm probably going to. I love smoking. I'm totally a smoker at heart. Smokers are friendly.
I remember I found a pack of smokes, and my parents were in church, and I went. I was like probably like 14 or something, and so I went to the side of the house, and I was going to finish that pack before church was over, and so I had like 4 cigarettes in my mouth at once, just sucking it back.
Man, very typical.
Man, I puked.
Just drowned yourself.
I puked everywhere. So anyway, I was going back to what you were saying at the start of Freedom Session this year, so 28 weeks ago, that since you've been doing it since 2016, you had different levels of freedom every year. And I remember you saying it was only last year that you started exercising and eating healthy more. And I thought that was really, really interesting and insightful that like, oh yeah, this is like, sometimes we have this expectation of like when you become a Christian or you try to get healthy, now you have to have everything figured out or everything
You're just
conquered.
not going to. You're just not going to.
No, it's like everyone has, there's levels to it. That's something I really need to learn for myself.
Okay.
Because,
so on the flip side of that though, and this should be in the regular podcast, you might just need to tack this on because this is really important. Like on the flip side, I said to somebody last night afterwards, I was talking to another guy, great guy, one of the facilitators. I said, I have also found myself being so judgmental and so pharisaical, right?
that's what I mean. That's
Connected to that.
That's what I'm saying. Because like when you see sin in someone else's life that they're not completely over yet because it's like eating unhealthy and not exercising, whatever else.
Or whatever. Maybe that's just they have way other bigger issues that they're fighting with. Or maybe they do need to deal with it. I mean, that's what's kind of.
But still, there's grace, right? Like there's not like coming at it with like hardcore judgment or whatever. And I think that's what I need to learn for myself, because my default is to be like, you need to have everything figured out. You need to be perfect in every area. If there's another Christian that's figured it out, why can't you have figured it out?
Yeah.
Like if Gary figured out how to stop smoking weed, why can't you stop smoking weed and do this and do this and do this? Just like be perfect now, today.
It is a journey.
And Jesus says like, my arms are wide open.
For sure, deal with the most serious sin first. And that's what's funny. We often go to the things where either there's a pressure point from someone or, it's uncomfortable, but it's like, hey, like I say, it's probably the thing that nobody knows about. That's the most serious.
Well, when I started Freedom Session the first time, I had just met you for the first time. I was like really embarrassed to tell you that I smoked weed. And I remember being in the Earl's parking lot calling you and like, do I call him? Do I call him? Do I call him? Do I call him? And like, I finally called you and I was like, kind of like started the conversation.
What did I say?
You said you have bigger fish to fry right now. Like this is not something you need to deal with.
Not top priority.
Not top priority. You have much bigger issues.
If there's sexual sin,
yeah,
that's the biggest one in my opinion, because the devil really uses that to screw us up, get us in deep trouble. So
yeah, very damaging.
Very damaging to people that love us deeply.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.